Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we have our good friend Keith with us once again, and today we're going to take a look at his Edradour 12-year-old first fill sherry. Whiskey World, was it exclusive for Whiskey World?
No, just they had it.
They had it right here. All right, so Edradour 12-year-old. We don't bring you very many Edradours. This one's kind of a limited edition, distilled back in 2009, bottled here on the 6th of September, just here recently in 2021. Cask number 168. 597 bottles. It comes in at a whopping 56.6% ABV in a beautiful clear glass bottle. And when your whiskey's this dark, why wouldn't you showcase it in a glass bottle? This is absolutely... My espresso isn't this dark. I mean, goodness.
Shout out to Travis Fairclough for the tip on this one.
Travis, you're always great about finding...
You're sherry man whore, let's be real.
Yeah. But your man...
He likes sherry more than I do.
Oh, yeah.
But he's always great about turning something onto a new website, and he's always a great ambassador for the whiskey community. So, cheers to you.
God, this is more black than your freaking stovetop over there, Mike. And that's just ridiculous.
It's crazy black.
Like, it's like a cherry cola that, like, they forgot to put anything but the syrup in. I mean... It's
like a A&W root beer that went flat. I mean,
even the legs on this thing are just... God. I mean, I'm just now seeing legs start dropping from this. It's ridiculous.
It's like rich raisins and slight cola. Not super.
It's rum-soaked raisins.
Yes, that's exactly it. Thank you.
It's rum-soaked Diet RC and soy sauce.
And not carbonated. Like it goes.
Oh, it's completely flat.
Flat RC cola.
It's Diet RC cola. Rum soaked. I'm not really getting a lot of raisin, but I'm getting almost like a raisins meets soy sauce kind of thing.
There's a little soy sauce.
Meets my leather belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if your car leather you just put in there somehow like got burnt.
Man, I tell you what.
There's a slight brown sugar note, like molasses. Not strong. Just barely there.
It's almost like syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on like it. Yeah, it's like dried pancake syrup.
We should add those.
Yeah.
You poured syrup and it just dried up. And there's some like sawdust.
Yeah. It almost like reminds you of peat, but not the sawdust.
It's sawdust. It actually reminds me more of like a bourbon.
The sawdust from a bourbon.
Where it's like over oaked kind of bourbon, like that sawdust kind of note.
It's a great smell. I like super aggressive.
Would surprise you. I thought you'd like, because normally Mike is not a big fan of younger whiskeys, but I thought this would surprise you. Well, we're not saying this is like epic like some of the other whiskeys we've had, but I thought you'd like this better than you thought you'd like it.
If it's young whiskey, you better come to me at Cask Strength, and you better come to me with some aggressive, preferably first fill maturation.
I can tell you right now, Keith, I can't wait to try this with water, because you didn't add water to this ahead of time, did you?
And water makes it a lot better.
Because I can already tell that I don't enjoy this nose right now, but I can tell that once we add water, it's going to change drastically, and I think it's going to here good. So
you don't enjoy it at all?
I don't dislike it at all, and I think it's interesting, but there's nothing here that I like a lot.
Can I have a little bit?
Well, I'm going to taste it before I add water. Should I, Keith, or should we go straight to water?
You can taste it first.
Okay.
For science.
Man, that's grittier and dirtier than I thought. Man, that Edradour characteristic and note is there. Wow.
It's a dirty malt.
I wasn't expecting that.
It tastes like earth and dirt. A little bit of a lot of salty notes.
Why don't I like this whiskey?
A ton of oak.
Because you don't tend to like dirty malts as much as I do. You liked it on the nose, huh? And not as much on the palate.
There were things I liked on the nose, but man, it is absolutely Edradour on the palate with a severe cask maturation.
I was expecting a level of sweetness from the sherry cask. It's not here at all. I mean, it's not even. There's no fruit at all here.
No.
It's aggressive. I like aggressive. Raisins maybe.
Yeah. Strong raisins, like tons of raisins.
If there's raisin here, man, honestly, I can't get past this burnt oak note on here.
Raisins in my belt.
Burnt oak and leather.
Leather is definitely very strong.
This reminds me of an over-oaked bourbon without the vanilla and the caramel. I mean, it's not quite. It's not astringent, so there's something from the malt and the sherry that's kind of balancing it, so it's not like disgusting by any means. Like, this is not gross. But it's so not what I was hoping for and expecting with a heavily first fill sherry cask.
On the nose it is. On the palate it's not.
Palate's
Edradour.
more extreme. But even the nose wasn't giving me that.
Well, I like it. For you viewers who like Edradour.
Yeah, I mean, Edradour is one you need to like this distillery.
It's a very unique, dirty characteristic.
Okay, the nose
Distillery character.
with water, the nose has got dates, raisins, figs coming out. Dates are
and
heavy.
Dates and figs would be a very good descriptor.
Yeah, heavy date. A lot of fig.
What you'd expect out of first fill sherry.
The soy sauce notes are still kind of there and very salty.
Yeah, it's sushi time.
There is a lot of salt. Maybe even a little wasabi. On the palate.
No ginger.
No.
Do you know ginger is not wasabi? Do you know what wasabi is?
It's the blue.
I've never had
stuff.
wasabi because I don't eat sushi. But
I
I
sushi once
just said
a
there's
week.
no ginger. I agreed on the no ginger.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just agreed with you, no ginger.
There's definitely wasabi on
Yeah, I don't know wasabi, but I agreed no ginger.
Well, I definitely like the nose a little bit better with the water. I like the nose initially, though. It is an aggressive beast on the palate, though.
Okay. Some chocolate came out with the water.
I softened it up some, yes.
It's not as chocolatey as you would think for how dark it is for sherry.
With water, it is. Well, not maybe as you would think, but
Not like a Glendronach.
really, water changed the whole palate profile.
Yeah,
Completely.
it became. Actually, I'm enjoying it now. There's water. I mean, it's got some like dark chocolate.
I mean, that Edradour note, which was 90% of it neat, is like 10% of it with water. I put a big gulp of water.
The oak has become a little more balanced here now. I mean, it's still very oaky. I mean, shockingly oak forward for a 12-year-old. Like so much oak, but it's become much more in balance, much more palatable.
Edradour is always an experience, Keith. Every one I've ever had.
How many Edradours have you had? You had the 10 that I gave you?
5 or 6. I've always said the same thing. Wow, that's...
I'd like to taste an Edradour that was really old. Like a 25 or 30-year-old Edradour. I've never had an older one.
I don't want one that's been aged in this cask.
Maybe by that time it got better. You never know.
This could not take any more oak without starting to get really unpleasant.
It's aggressive.
I mean, there's just so much oak in this thing, and I mean, the water's helped. All right, here, let me try to help.
Just
this
pour it,
whiskey.
bro. You don't even need the straw.
You're probably right. Yeah. What's the ABV on this one again, guys?
56.6.
That's it?
56.6.
Jeez. I mean, this drink's like at 63, 64%.
Yeah, the color is the show on this thing. You just look at this thing and think, wow.
I mean, look how dark it is. I just added a ton of water.
Made no dent.
No, nothing. I mean, that's crazy. It's like one of those whiskeys, like afterwards you get like a cloth and you wipe your teeth off just to make sure you don't have any like dark color on it.
It's substantial darkness.
Jeez.
All right.
Definitely doesn't have the chocolatey, just creamy, like vanilla and coconut note that you would hope for a really sherried whiskey like the older Glendronachs that we like. It's good for a 12-year-old, but that's just it. It's good for a sherry 12.
It's almost like the more water you put in it, the better it gets.
That huge amount of water just added really,
I told you guys,
really helped.
better
But
with
here's
time in
the
the glass and water.
here's the problem though. Is now I've got really nice chocolate notes and I'm getting some.
That's what it is,
A
chocolate.
little bit more.
I'm getting nothing but chocolate, but I'm getting a lot more chocolate. The problem
I
here
don't get any chocolate at all.
is it's gotten younger. Mm-hmm. Like the water has brought out the youth that was kind of like you couldn't tell if it was young or what because they're just getting all this oak. The oak's now subsided.
Yeah, it was always
Now I've got young whiskey.
cask dominant. You're trying to strip it away a little bit, but
Yeah, but I honestly, I mean, Edradour adds that as part of that. It's the salty notes. I'm pretty sure that's Edradour.
Yeah, there is some saltiness, like salted figs, salted raisins, salted dates.
That soy sauce we were talking about earlier. And soy sauce is very, salt forward, but
There's a
God,
little rubbery notes, slight sulfur. It's not real sulfury for what you would think with this much of a sherry cask.
I, to me again, this is where I go back to. This reminds me of that Kilkerran 8, where they just burnt the hell out of
I
the sherry
agree.
cask.
I agree. That is a similar
I
profile.
don't get that, like the woody notes at all. Like
This is so oaky and woody, man.
that bamboo note that you got with that Kilkerran 8.
Well,
I'm not getting that.
Well, I think that note came because the still and the wood were playing, whereas this is 12 years old. It doesn't have that off the still note that 8-year had. Because that Kilkerran was super young. It came off super off the still. Whereas this is not.
They just toasted those sherry casks way too much, and there's just so much bamboo.
My same thought here.
See, I don't get that at all. I think this is a wet cask that may not have been toasted at all.
You've had the Kilkerran heavily peated, right?
Yeah.
I think that had some of that bamboo note just because from the still. I think that's kind of part of the Kilkerran character a little bit.
All right, so let me ask you guys. Where are you as far as whiskey score on this one?
86 for me.
I'll say 84.
78.
What a snob. He just does that to seem like superior. Just admit it.
Yeah, I honestly,
superior complex.
Honest to God, until I added the last bit of water, I was going to be in the 60s.
Stop it. You're going to lose subscribers just for that.
I don't care.
People love these.
I don't care.
You don't care, but it's going to happen.
I'm sorry, Keith.
Travis is going to unsubscribe. There's going to be like 30 people who are going to unsubscribe. So if you're cool with that,
but again,
go with your 68.
But again, I've told you over and over again, Keith. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the sherry casks that Signatory is using, which is the same company that does this. Mm-hmm. I didn't like that Kilkerran 8. I get a lot of similar notes. I didn't like the Springbank 10 local barley they just put out that people are paying $800 for. Mm-hmm. And they're all giving me those same characters.
Yeah. It's just
you pay market price for it.
It's just the sherry.
I already sold you one for a discount.
You did. You were a gentleman and a scholar for that.
You got one at a legitimate discount below. Got that thanks to me buying a case.
I agree. I didn't like this as much as I thought I would. I like it a lot because I like the dirty malts, unlike you guys. But it's not amazing.
Well, now I'll add this, Keith. I have a Signatory 10-year-old Edradour. I like a lot more than this. I don't like it. I don't like that one.
I'd have to taste it first, but
you may disagree with which one you like better. I'm just saying I have an Edradour that I prefer to this one.
Fair enough. Teach their own, right?
Yeah.
We all have our own taste.
And by the way, it's almost as dark as this is, and it's 46.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Like I poured that thing, and I'm like, how is this possible at 46?
Yeah, both those are super dark whiskeys.